Having followed Paul's YouTube channel for many years, I had sky-high expectations for the PS Audio StellarGold preamp. Paul is the CEO of PS Audio, and his videos have convinced me that the StellarGold preamp would be fantastic. Now, from here on out, I'll refer it to as StellarGold. PS Audio didn't become a renowned company by churning out mediocre products. If anything, PS Audio has impossible high standards to meet because Paul has shown us he knows a thing or two about making good hi-fi products. So, let's get this out of the way. I'll start by saying the preamp is everything you anticipate from a $4,000 preamp. From packaging to sound, it's top tier. It's detailed, modern sounding, holographic, and all that jazz. Now, the real question is not whether it is good or not, but whether it is for you or not, whether it suits your taste. See, as excellent as this preamp is, my audio buddy, Mr. 707, well, I call him that because he owns a pair of Polk Audio 707 speakers. Now, he had issues with the StellarGold because of the soundstage. Yet, the soundstage is one of StellarGold's main strength. Now, the soundstage is, well, stellar. See what I did there? How could I love it while Mr. 707 did not? No, it's not because I got paid off and he didn't. Well, my audio buddies, today let's talk about the PS Audio StellarGold preamp. The StellarGold preamp sports a unique design feature. See, a gold strip around it. Looks quintessentially PS Audio with a slim body and round edges. Now, the multi-remote can control the PS Audio DAC and preamp, which is fantastic for those who despise juggling multiple remotes. The remote feels modern, stylish, and well built. And now the preamp also has two pairs of RCA and XLR input and outputs, which is almost mandatory today since many folks have subwoofers. It's best to use the PS Audio logo on the front to power the unit on instead of the switch at the back, because if you shut it off with the switch at the back, you'll need to power it on for about an hour to reach peak performance. So, someone at PS Audio must enjoy listening in the dark because you can dim the lights on the unit. Now, if you visit PS Audio's website, they've done a stellar job highlighting what makes their preamp impressive. Now, in the interest of time, I'll only cover one aspect, since you can read the rest on the website. See, I was curious why they emphasize an oversized power supply as a key feature. And they explained it. Let me quote. A large oversized high current transformer feeds the StellarGold's preamp's power supply, ensuring that the unit can reproduce music with a wide dynamic range without compression or distortion. Oh, I want to add another key selling feature of this amp, and it has very low distortion. Okay, so there is one feature with the StellarGold preamp that I've never seen before in any other preamp. You can select between AC coupling and DC coupling. In AC coupling mode, apparently a capacitor is introduced into the signal chain, which PS Audio recommend using only if you experience any ticks or pops when changing inputs. Now, this capacitor adds color to the presentation, so PS Audio recommends listening in DC coupling mode. You know me, I love MSG, I like color, so all my listening sessions were in AC coupling mode.
Just a brief interruption, esteemed viewers. As you may know, I'm Tom Martin, Chief Content Officer of The Absolute Sound. We have a new product. It's on the Substack platform, and we're going to do some interesting things with Substack. First of which is reader questions and answers. Each Monday, readers will submit questions, we'll pick the most interesting ones, and we'll answer the questions on Friday. We'll also have early access to articles and special blogs that don't appear anywhere else. We hope you'll join us. It's only a cost of a cup of coffee per month. Just check on the screen or in the show notes below. Thanks, and now back to the show.
So, how does it sound? Now this, as I said, is a modern sounding amp. Transparent and holographic, good clarity and dynamic contrast. It's neither bright nor veiled. Not, I would say it's lively enough that it has very good detail for critical listening. Yet it is not an analytical sounding preamp. So it checks all the boxes for a good preamp. That's why I said earlier that the StellarGold being good is a given. But many $4,000 preamp today are transparent, holographic, yada yada. So you get my point. So what makes the StellarGold stand out? So to test the StellarGold, I use my Matrix X Saber 3 DAC. I listen move out the StellarGold first and then with it. For the power amp, I chose a few and the results were always the same. Now this $3,500 Matrix DAC that I'm using is no joke. So when I pair it with a budget preamp, not only did I not get any improvement, I actually lose something. For example, the soundstage maybe becomes smaller. So a preamp must really kick ass to elevate the performance of my DAC. So did the StellarGold improve the sound? You know what? I'll describe it and you decide. What will catch your attention immediately with the StellarGold in the system is that the presentation becomes less aggressive and slightly softer. It's not to the point of being polite, but it has a smoothness that will catch your attention. So one way to describe it is like taking a sandpaper and gently smoothing out the rough edges a bit, okay? When I call something polite, that kind of equipment usually requires a lot of volume to have dynamics. The StellarGold does not need to reach a loud volume for the dynamics to kick in, nor is it more on the relaxing side. So that's why I have to be careful not to mislead you into thinking this is a smooth, polite, veil-sounding preamp. It is 100% not. The edges and the attacks are still present enough to get good precision and realism. You get all the micro details you need. Although the top-end extension is slightly less extended, it's not to the point that I lose resolution and detail. Instead, what I got is that it tones down any harshness while still preserving the open, airy soundstage. See, like my audio buddy, Mr. Quad, who favors a more musical, smooth presentation, now he really likes the smoothness of this preamp. Next, the mid-range has body and texture despite being slightly smooth. It's still clean and clear. The background is quiet, no hiss and no noise, which allows me to hear more information. Next, with the preamp in the system, the bass has weight. It's not fat, but it's slightly less punchy. Now, before you panic, I noticed that although it was slightly less punchy, it had more control in the bass, which gave me more nuance and detail. So if you're into critical listening and the lower frequency information detail is important to you, the StellarGold will deliver. Now, another thing I noticed is the speed of the preamp is neither fast nor slow. They got it just right. See, my system felt faster without the preamp, but whether that is better or not depends on you. If it's too fast, you have a hard time relaxing with the system, and sometimes we want that. If it's too slow, it can be boring. So keep that in mind. Now, who is this preamp not for? So let's go back to Mr. 707 experience and why it was not for him. See, Mr. 707 has a famous tube preamp that costs more than the Stellar. He noticed that the StellarGold did not have that tube air openness and layering he was used to. See, I mentioned earlier that the StellarGold does have an open, airy 3D soundstage. So I don't want you to think that, it's 2D. It has a very good soundstage. However, I can understand Mr. 707's point because, I use tube gear myself. But, okay, let me tell you a story. Have you ever experienced this? You have listened to the song a million times, and one day you introduce a new piece of equipment into your system, and it changed your system so much that it made you feel like you were listening to that song for the first time. So one day I put on a live recording with the Stellar preamp in my system. And this was my aha moment because this recording had depth. And with this song, the soundstage really opened up. I heard a soundstage that could rival my tube preamp and maybe even surpass it. So I asked myself if the Stellar really shines with recording that have a good soundstage. So I put on the pink Pink Panther track performed by the Royal Liverpool Philharmonic Orchestra. Yeah. They have this album called The 50 of the Best Film Classics. Check it out, man. Fantastic. Anyway, with the Pink Panther song, I was so shocked at the soundstage, I listened to it 3 times. It was as if I heard this song for the first time. The performance felt more solidly anchored to the soundstage than I'm used to. Also, the band was so convincingly placed behind the speaker that I could almost see the band. The last time I felt that was with a $15,000 solid-state preamp. Now, okay, look, I'm not saying it is that level or it can rival $15,000 preamp. No, it does not. But the space between the instrument, the size of the stage, the depth of the stage, the scale of the performance might be better than some of my 2 preamps in the same price range. Now, of course, I then had to try all kind of orchestra piece, and it did not disappoint. See, before that day, I mostly listened to solo artists, popular, regular music with simple band, nothing too taxing on the system. And this experience got me thinking, see, are preamps with more accurate or less exaggerated soundstage better for grand scale performance pieces? Please comment and share what you think of my experience. It was really an aha moment for me, come to Jesus moment for me. So let's wrap up the video here. Some of you probably feel the same. Testing the StellarGold is almost like meeting your hero. If you're looking for a modern sounding transparent preamp with good dynamic contrast and favor a slightly non-aggressive presentation, then the StellarGold is worthy of your time. Now, if your current preamp is a tube preamp, test what I mentioned in this video before passing judgment. See, I'm glad I got a chance to try PS Audio gear at my home because I've heard PS Audio gear at audio shows 5 times. And out of those 5 times, only once was I completely blown away. See, I get to see what it can do by spending proper time at home with it. You can too I think they have a generous return policy. See, my only regret was that I should have dedicated some time to listening in DC coupling mode instead of only in AC. Man, for that I deserve to be punished and eat only broccoli for a week. Well, unfortunately I already sent the unit back, so maybe next time in the future. Alright, till next time.